Valeria Magic Salomon is the best soccer player her town has ever seen. At 12 years old, she is the MVP of and only girl on the elite boys team her abuelo coaches with confidence to spare and eyes on the Olympic development program. Nothing is going to stop her. Then everything changes at the State Cup semifinal when Magic gets her first period while wearing white shorts. After her team is unexpectedly eliminated, everyone who used to treat her as their secret weapon now sees her as their weakest link. Soon, she doesn't have a team at all anymore, and the confidence she used to rely on to make her magic is gone too. Valeria is a fighter, however. With the help of her grandmother and support of her cheerleader BFF, she finds herself on a girls' team for the first time. But the Amazons aren't exactly excited to have her there. After all, Valeria's spent years ignoring their existence to compete with the boys. With the next tournament looming on the horizon, Valeria has a month to figure out her place on her new team, find her magic, and learn how to play like a girl. My preview today is The Beautiful Game by Yamile Saied Méndez. Football, calcio, football, soccer, football. Beautiful in all languages, but also brutal and unfair. Brutal like the Utah Elite's number 5 tackling me to the ground, making me taste dirt mixed with blood, my blood. Unfair like him calling me names because he couldn't keep up with me, the only girl in the league. I was ready for the physicality of it, the ugliness. I really was. A state cup game, even in the group stage, isn't for delicate flowers. And a flower, I was not. But if he was going to use his extra 20 pounds on me to his advantage, I was going to use a few tricks of my own. We were tied at 0 and had only 2 minutes left. We needed to win. Holding my shin, that luckily he had not touched, I rolled on the ground, on the bare spot where no grass grew. I tried not to laugh as I groaned in pretend pain. My teammates and their parents on the sidelines screamed, demanding justice and fair play. The ref blew the whistle, a free kick, an opportunity for me to put my team where it belonged, on the very top. Pretend pain miraculously forgotten, I jumped to my feet and shook the dust off my jersey, number 10. Simon grabbed the ball and placed it right on the spot the ref marked with a spray. For me. Now, here was where football or soccer, or whatever you want to call it, turned beautiful, poetic, elegant. Suddenly, I had a clean view of the upper left corner. The goalie would expect a lefty to send the ball there. He could block it if he jumped high and far enough, and sure, a boy full of adrenaline could fly. At least our goalie, Benny, a giant among 13-year-olds, could. Coach had another idea, though. He signaled for me to do the trick move, the one in which the wall of players jump because they expect the ball to go high, but I make it kiss the ground and sail under their feet. A brilliant idea, really, especially because the elites hadn't had a lizard lie down behind the wall to prevent that kind of move. Hadn't they watched Ronaldinho's free kicks? Still, I hesitated. I had a trick of my own, but could I pull it off? I'd never tried it before. The game is called many things in different countries and languages, but its 17 rules are the same everywhere, plus the unwritten one. The coach is always right. Today I wore the captain armband, but coach called the plays. He couldn't see what I was seeing, though. He was on the sidelines, not on the field. Coach's plan was good. Mine was even better. If I messed it up, we might end in a tie and risk not qualifying on top for the next round. Then we'd have to face the strongest team in the next bracket, and who knew what might happen. If we lost that game, Coach might bench me next season, or even worse, kick me off the team. I'd die. But if my plan worked and I scored, glory. I could taste it already, as sweet and cool as the blue Gatorade I'd gulped at halftime. I stomped my foot, pulverizing Coach's order under the spikes of my pink cleats. Simon whispered, "You got it, Magic." I thanked him with a nod, but I moved the ball just a millimeter to the side where I wanted it. Simon and I stepped back, taking some distance. When the whistle blew, we both sprinted. At the last second, he moved out of the way for me to take the shot. With my right foot, the weak one. Later, I saw a picture of the shot. Benny's mom posted it on the team app, Squad Chat. I looked like a ballerina, my foot pointed, my arms swinging back for balance, my eyes on my target. Instead of keeping the ball on the ground like Coach wanted me to, I shot it toward the center of the goal. Everyone held their breath. The goalie jumped to the corner. The wall stayed put, and the net waved with the impact that had the force of a cannonball. I laughed. I knew the ball would go in. Call it player's intuition. My bench screamed, "Goal!" I ran and ran and ran, fighting the impulse to take my jersey off and swing it in the air like the boys did. The ref would card me if I showed my sports bra, even if it was mainly for decoration right now. There were some rules even I wasn't willing to break. I ran, my feet barely touching the scorched grass and the bare dirt patches, into the arms of my team. "You did it, Magic! Bien hecho, Nina! You saved us!" I couldn't tell who said what. As a reply to all, I kissed my bracelet made of soccer tape. On it, I'd written in Sharpie the names of the people I was dedicating this cup to. Lita and Papa. Lita, my grandma, never came to the group stage games, and my dad lived in New York. But they'd both be here next week for the final round. They'd promised. All the boys on the team kissed their own bracelets. Through a gap in the group hug, I glimpsed at Coach standing by the sideline. His face was filled with pride. He shook a finger at me, smiled, and kissed his bracelet too. I didn't know for sure whose name he'd written on it, but I suspected it was his daughter's, Antonia, who lived in Argentina and was battling cancer. I shook my boys off and ran to his side, angling for a hug. He stopped me with a hand. "Next time, do as I say, or I'll take you out." "But you let Benny improvise." "It's different. You must set the example. Goal or no goal, I'll take you out." The boys on the bench laughed, but I knew he meant business. Why couldn't he be happy for now? Was a simple thank you too hard for him to say? After all, I was the one on the pitch. When he asked, "Entendisti?" I humbly said, "Si, senor." I understood. I just didn't agree. He gave me a heavy pat on the shoulder and sent me back in for the final minute. I was hungry for goals, for seeing that net sail again. The state cup was mine, the first trophy on the way to the national championship that I'd hand over to Coach, my grandfather. And this has been a preview of The Beautiful Game.